Hello, it's week 29 of season 5 of the Andy Griffith Show. This week's episode title is The Luck of Newton Monroe. Barney, I'm sitting with Andy on his front porch after church, and I tell him that tomorrow is Thelma Lou's birthday. And I say I ain't got her anything yet. She's so hard to die for. She's got everything. I guess I'll just go out tomorrow and pick up the first thing I see. Well, I think I'm going to go down to the filling station, get me a bottle of tot, go home, take a nap, and then go over to Thelma Lou's and watch a little TV. And then you repeat those plans real slowly twice, and then you finally do get up and go down to the filling station where you see Goober enjoying a new transistor radio he just bought. He says he just bought it from a traveling salesman who's still parked right over there. Yeah, that guy has just sold a big new watch to Floyd, too. And I ask him if he's got anything for a girl. And first he shows me a ring, and I say, no, I don't want her getting any ideas. And then he says, how about a pencil sharpener? And I say, now that's not a bad idea. She's always striking the points on her pencils. But then he shows me a fur stole for $13.25. So I decide to get that. And after I give it to Thelma Lou, I tell Andy, I wish you could have seen the look on her face, Ange. I never will forget that look. I actually thought she was going to cry. And Andy thinks $13.25 is too cheap for a real fur. And I say, oh, well, he explained that. I mean, there was this big closeout at this warehouse. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And Andy says, all the furs down at Weaver's department store are all over $50. He says he thinks the fur you bought was stolen. And I say, oh, come on, Andy. You think you could have fooled me for a second if he was a criminal type? Me, a professional lawman? He was no crook. But then Goulder tells us that his radio don't play no more. And Floyd shows us his watch, and he says the second hand is spinning around like a pinwheel. And I say, you sure you didn't drop that watch, Floyd? I can't imagine that fellow cheating you. And then Thelma Lou says all the fur on her stole is falling out. And Floyd says that salesman is still in town, parked up the block. So we go up to him, and I start arguing with him, and a crowd gathers, and he says, didn't your girlfriend like the fur? And I say, like it? The fur is coming out of it. And he shows Andy a bill of sale for all the stuff to prove that it's not stolen. And Andy says, yeah, but you still don't have a peddler's license, so you can't sell your junk in Mayberry anymore. But after he says he'll leave, I catch him selling again. And I bring him into Andy and I say, well, I nailed him. An hour after we told him to beat it, he was out there peddling his junk again. And Andy looks him into jail. His name is Newton Monroe. And I have him dig a hole out back to plant a tree to work off his sentence. But he hits a water pipe in the ground and breaks it. So you get Thelma Lou another present. You told her on the courthouse phone that you'll bring it by about 8 o'clock tonight. And you tell Andy it's a pineapple skinner. You bought it from Newton. And Andy says, from Newton? And I say, well, I looked all over, and I couldn't find anything else. This is only $2. And he says, where is Newton anyway? And I say, I got him down in the basement cleaning out the furnace. And Andy says, I'm working him kind of hard. And I say, well, so what? I'm teaching him a lesson. He'll think twice before he goes defrauding other innocent people. I tell you what. And Andy says the water pipe cost $17 to fix. And since then, Newton has dropped and broken our radio. And Andy says we'd come out ahead if we just let him go. And I say, no, you can't do that, Andy. What kind of justice would that be? You sentenced him to 5 days. He's going to serve 5 days. And Andy says I'm maybe getting revenge on him. And then Newton fills the courthouse with smoke because he didn't open the flue before lighting the furnace. And then he spills mop water on the floor, and then he breaks the glass in the bookshelf. And I yell, you're too nuts, you know that? Can't you do anything right? And I say, he's all yours, Andy. He's in it. And I walk out. And Newton tells Andy that everything he does goes wrong, including his sales business. He's a born loser. And Andy tries to cheer him up. He says, all you need is a good positive attitude, and you can do something else. And Andy hasn't tanked the torch of his house. And I say, you must be loony. Maybe he'll escape. That'd be the best thing. You beat everything, Andy. You know that? And then Newton comes in and says he must have used too much tank thinner because the tank got like water. So Andy and I go to look at his torch, and I say, did you ever see a nest like that in your life? Well, I told you right from the start, he can't do anything. But you wanted to get psychological. You wanted to give him confidence. So Andy and I taint over the torch until it looks real nice. And then Andy brings Newton over to see it. And he tells him it was still wet when he left, so it didn't look right until it dried. So now Newton has some confidence, and Andy suspends his sentence. And we get him a job in a hardware store over in Mount Pilot. Well, I'm glad it worked out well. We'll see you all next week for episode 30.